kinds of questions. Easy questions or painful questions. Questions that are hard, questions you might not know the answers with. But ask them. Okay. After reading, it's good to talk about it. It's good to question. It's good to check for understanding. Okay. In order for this to work, I'm going to let you choose who you read with today. So you may get with a partner, and as you do, I will be giving you out your sheet to read with. So in the next 30 seconds, get a partner, and I will give you your memoir excerpt. Bring your pencils, bring your brains, and get with a partner. If you have 84 people at a table, that's too many. There's several tables that can be equalized, so it's not as... Partnership? Partnership?
We have partners.
Two partners. Pairs. Please. Unless we have an odd person number. Unless we have an odd number. Jennifer, who's your partner? Thanks for making that work. This is yours. Okay, let's look at our sheet that we're going to be reading with our partner. There's a before you read section. There's a response notes section that you're going to be writing on and posing questions. And then you will be talking with your partner after you read. I'm going to take, let's see, I think it was Michael's suggestion. Did you say look at the title? I'm going to take Michael's suggestion and I'm going to look at the title. A difficult beginning. Already, I'm starting to think about what I'm going to be reading about. A difficult beginning. I don't know about you, but that interests me. When something's difficult for someone else, I'm kind of interested to see what it is that's so hard for them. Remember, this is a memoir. Our objective is to read a little bit about a memoir so that ultimately we can write one. Okay, I'm going to give you about 10 minutes or so, not quite, to read this excerpt. And while you do, please make sure you're doing your before, during, and after active reading. Okay? Let's get started. Okay, you can actually write on here. So the question is, looking at this and looking at the picture, remember, let's use our active reading. You're making a prediction about what you think this is going to be about. How do you know it's school? I will not talk in class, and he has to write that. He doesn't look happy, does he? Okay.
So I think this story is about a new kid and he doesn't really fit in.
I think it's a story about a new kid at school starting out band.
Okay. Start reading.
Okay, so what do you think the story is?
Okay, can I read one paragraph and you read one paragraph?
How talk in the classroom at exactly 8:30 this morning. We
I
all
was angry but
stood
apologized to her.
were
Then I wrote the words
and wrote
but it wasn't
page number
thank you.
101 from the chalkboard. We sat down on our large
Miss Koch came in
uncomfortable chairs. Then we opened our notebooks and began to study.
uncomfortable chairs. Then we opened our textbooks and began to study. A few minutes later, I had a question.
Okay, so
So I raised
when
my
you're
hand.
actively reading, you can pause, you can ask each other a question, or I don't know about you, but when I heard 50 times, that seems a little harsh, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, think about how many times we talk in class. If we were writing that every time we talked, we'd be writing all over the board, wouldn't we? And I liked also, I was angry, but I apologized to her. I was responsible. He was mad, but
Instead of like talking back to the teacher, he apologized.
yes.
Didn't take his anger.
Yeah, he didn't take his anger out on her. He knew that he probably should apologize to her because that was the respectful thing to do. I like this example. How old do you think he is? If he's that responsible, how old does he look?
I was thinking he might be
How did you come up with this answer? Right. So he has to be old enough to be able to be responsible like that. He has to be old enough to write because he's writing on the board. I don't know if we can go by this picture, but he doesn't look like he's 5 or 6. He looks older than that, even though this isn't a real life picture.
I don't think he's over 12 years old because like they're still making him like write on the board if he talks. So
Carlos, would you be writing on the board if this was the teacher? No?
oh yeah.
The teacher would be asking you to write on the board?
Maybe.
Because you talk in class? Did you not think, like I thought, when I was reading this, gee, that teacher's kind of harsh. That's kind of a strict rule.
50 times.
Well, then my next question is, what's the date for this journal?
1889.
1889. How many years ago?
120.
How can you find out? I know this isn't a math, there you go. I know this isn't a math class, but how can you find out? $2,009 minus 1889. What'd you get? Wait a minute. Let's check our math. Miss Benecki would ask us to check our math. Okay, you borrowed. Wait, 2009 minus 1889. 9 minus 9 is... Maybe we should call Miss Benecki on that plane to Italy. Yikes.
About 220.
Is that what you got? Wait a minute.
I haven't borrowed.
You haven't borrowed. You got to borrow. So, 0, you got to borrow. 10.
You put me.
Okay, now we can
Borrow.
Okay, I walked home alone. It was cloudy and gray. It looked like it might rain, but I didn't care. It was Friday, and I couldn't wait for Friday to begin. On Friday, our friends always change.
You're supposed to write answer this, and you're supposed to write other questions that you have, or other connections, or words, or anything that you have while being an active reader during reading. Anything that you guys think that's important.
Look, you guys, it says, why my teacher thinks I'm...
Jennifer, sorry, did you have a question?
It says, I know I don't learn much from school, but I learn a lot from home, from these evenings at home. My teacher thinks I will never be... Yeah.
Okay, so that's what your response notes are. My teacher thinks I will never be.
As
What are you thinking this teacher's thinking about this student?
That he's not responsible
enough.
or I don't know.
Do you think if he says, I hate school, do you think the teacher knows that?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe that's why she doesn't answer his questions.
Maybe.
Or he's not. He wants to answer his questions, but at the same time, the teacher's thinking I should answer his questions. I should read the book.
Maybe he should know. Maybe he should find out. Do you think the teacher thinks he's going to be a good student when he gets to be older? Or a bad student?
I think he's a good student because it said that his friends, like to discuss things and they know a lot about history.
Alright, but that's his family, that's not school. In school, it seems like he's writing a lot about, I will not talk in class.
But he's like, the teacher just thinks he's asking like something not important.
Not
But
important.
it is, and the teacher's like,
It is to him.
yeah.
The teacher doesn't seem very fair, does she? We want you to finish that sentence. My teacher thinks I will never be...
Oh, okay. We have to finish it.
You have to finish that. So see what you can come up with, and that's what we'll discuss in a few
My
minutes.
teacher thinks I will never be a good
We have 2 minutes. Wow.
My teacher thinks I will never be
I like this group.
Yeah, I know, it's not spelled right.
Response notes. You've got a question? 2 questions. 3.
Yeah, I know.
3, 4, 5. Well, the teacher is thinking
Because
like
he won't answer his own questions.
maybe the teacher thinks that he will never be successful because
But he didn't actually talk in class.
since the teacher doesn't answer his questions, maybe nobody wants to raise the decision. She said not now.
Okay, 6th graders, can we reconvene? Reconvene is a fancy word that they might use in a courtroom. turns to the judge. Everybody turns to the teacher. Order in the classroom. Thank you, Robin. I wanted to give you some feedback on your active reading. I see many groups or many pairs that have a star because they've got this response notes. They've got it full of questions. They have it full of what ifs, things that they noticed in connections. Also your prediction here. And then many of you noticed that it wasn't finished and you needed to finish that. Good job. I have a question first to start our discussion. This happens to be a real life person that existed in 1889. These gentlemen, very courageously I might add, did the math. It took us a minute, but how long ago did this happen? Carlos and Daniel.
120 years ago.
120 years ago. Who do you think, you've heard of the person, the student, that this is?
Lincoln.
Cameron, what did you say?
Albert Einstein?
What did you say?
Lincoln or I'm gonna say Einstein.
It's that Clark dude.
Clark dude?
Yeah, Lewis and Clark. That's two people. I'm sorry. Clark, no, that's not them.
Wow, we've heard a correct answer already in the class.
Albert.
This is Albert Einstein's memoir from October the 20th, 1889. Albert Einstein, the genius, the guy that created the theory of relativity, the guy that you see everywhere being this intelligent person, and here he hates school and his teacher makes him write 50 times, "I will not talk in class."
Wow, I bet that he would be laughing at his teacher if he would, when he grows up, I bet he's going to be laughing at his teacher. Because he never
It was
asks,
teachers too, but it still lives.
because he always asks questions, and if you don't ask questions, you'll never learn one of his theories.
Wait a minute, Michael has some very profound statement, has a very profound statement on March 20th, the day before spring break. Can you say it again? If you never
ask questions, you'll never learn. And then his teacher never answered his questions, but he still learned because he asked kids other questions.
He found out another way to get his questions answered. We were bothered by, at this group, that the teacher never answered his questions. We were bothered by that as well. We didn't like that. I don't think the teacher liked him. I don't know. She didn't seem like she felt like he was going to be much of a student, and that's the bottom part too. My teacher thinks I will never be, and the part of the excerpt that I left out, my teacher thinks I will never be successful, but I know she's wrong, and there's 2 exclamation marks after that. Albert Einstein had an idea how smart he was. What are some of the questions that you came up with?